Hey, welcome back to another Palm Master video. Today, let's talk a bit about the new Tapu Lele and who was it again? Lana, I think. Yeah, sings to Lana. That's dropping later tonight, which as usual we will be pulling for. Thank goodness this is the last banner of this month. So, all right. Anyways, let's get in it. Let's get in it. So this is a striker. It's a very good striker, although it's not fantastic at DPSing. It's a very interesting striker. It's very support-ish striker. That is in one of the strongest types in the game, and supports some of the strongest damage dealers in the game. So, anyways, yeah, it's a support striker. It's a striker, but yeah. Anyways, all right, you guys got the point. let's go over it, right? So yeah, it's got Moonblast and B Psycho Cut, which is, I think, the first like serious physical Psychic type damage deal. Like the only other one in the game is like Tate, and you know Tate's not incredibly serious, but this Lana's pretty serious, right? Because there's just not like Psychic is not a type that is very much, you know, they don't have a lot of physical damage dealers generally, like even in the main games, right? So it is very rare to get a physical Psychic unit over here, and yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So outside that, it has Psychic Terrain, and then yeah, B Psycho Cut itself, it first of all, it never misses, which is cool, and then all the hits are crits basically, and it doesn't get the AoE, you know, multiple target debuff, so no matter how many units are on the opponent's side, it hits equal damage for each. So it, you know, it got this sort of Sing Suit Ethan or Annie and sort of, you know, effect right over there. And yeah, it only costs 2 gauges to use when Psychic Terrain is up, which it will be up. It will be up like basically 100% of the time. Yeah, this is like the other Tapus, right? They all do like 2 different things. You know, Bulu does Sun and Grass Terrain. Nina does like Rain and Fairy Zone. Lele only does Psychic Terrain, but it does it very well. It has like a billion different ways to set Psychic Terrain. It is crazy. It focuses on this one thing, and it gives you like 10 ways to set it. Okay, not 10. Well, like 3.5. But anyways, point being, it sets Psychic Terrain. It sets it a lot, right? In a lot of different ways. So, okay, as for the training move, buffs its attack and special attack by 6. Gives super effective up next in Psychic Terrain. That's pretty standard. I mean, if you're wondering, like, the Moonblast damage is not anything crazy, right? It's mainly, you know, the other stuff, right? So, yeah. Psychic Terrain debut and extension, so that's the first way to set Psychic Terrain, right? Well, second way, I guess. Second way to set Psychic Terrain, it sets it on entry, and then you get the extension there as well. And then you have Team Weird Vibes 2, which I don't even know, man. Like, really? This is... Why? Why did they do this? This is already an incredibly strong type. They didn't need this extra help, man. Holy. Yeah, basically powers up all allied moves by 20% in Psychic Terrain. For no reason. But yeah. Okay, outside of that, you have the Call Ocean Breeze, which, you know, guarantee buffs or gives a physical special move up next. For Lele. I think I don't remember which video, but I said it was like for all allies, but no, it's when any ally uses a Weather Trainer Zone, it buffs like Lele's physical special move up next, which is all right. I mean, you know, extra 40% damage is an extra 40% damage, so why not, right? And then, yeah, in terms of the grid, right, in terms of how many copies you want over here, 1 out of 5 does actually give you some stuff, and by some stuff I mean the B Psycho Cut power-ups. I mean, it's Striker, right? Everything else seems kind of whatever. I mean, Dauntless is not really relevant. Headstrong is alright, I guess. Certain scenarios it could be nice. Psychic Terrain, Move Gauge, Fresh. I mean, you're not using this move super often, so you get some speed, special attack nodes, like, or special attack nodes, whatever, right? Yeah, it's nothing crazy. You just get the base kit, which is pretty good. I mean, base kit is already really nice. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5, you get a Power Induction 5, which powers up your moves in Electric Terrain. That's mainly for Moonblast, let's be real, because, I mean, you wouldn't want Power Induction 5 if you're trying to do DPS with Psycho Cut, unless you're just running in a electric team and you're just like a side sort of damage dealer. Okay, I guess, but you know, no, it's not super relevant, unless you're just trying to do some damage with Moonblast, which is fine, I guess. Precognition charges, you know, gauges in Psychic Terrain, neat. NPR on Psychic Terrain, that's your third way of setting Psychic Terrain, right? Got Weird Recovery, like 2 out of 5, not a massive deal. I mean, yeah, you do get Psychic Terrain NPR, but I'd argue, I mean, if you're going for it, you might as well go for a 3 out of 5, which in 3 out of 5 you get Weird World, which gives Psychic Terrain after Sync, and then on top of that get Haymaker. Alright, you get Furious Brain, which are, you know, Critical Sync as well, guaranteed, you know, crit on your sync. So yeah, like, yeah, get a pretty solid Striker Sync out of this. And then, yeah, Propulsion on your trainer move, Moonblast on a roll 2, Weird Might 4, which is you know, extra 50% chance of getting physical move up next by 1 when you're attacking in Psychic Terrain, which is really nice as well. And then Weird Charge 9, which is a guaranteed chance at charging move gauge by 1 in Psychic Terrain, especially when Psycho Cut only costs you 1 gauge in the first place. So yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. As for 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5 you get Adrenaline 1, Catalytic Kick 9. I mean, it's fine. Like, move gauge acceleration is always nice, but I mean, Tapu Lele itself isn't like a huge gauge consumer, right? It's more so, you know, if you're a aggressive team, maybe they cost a bit too much gauge. Like, for example, if you're running like something crazy like Lele, Sings Illusamine, and like Deoxys or something. First of all, who's tanking? But you know, that aside, yeah, it's not that big deal, I feel, most time. Adrenaline, as usual, always nice in mass mode, but otherwise, it's just alright. And Brain Power, an extra Sync Nuke multiplier over there, and then Pervious. Obviously, those are both really nice things, so yeah. 4 out of 5, like 5 out of 5 is, I'd say, pretty nice. 4 out of 5 is not really worth candying for or whatever, right? But yeah. I'd say 1, 2, 3, and 5 are all pretty good, so it just really depends on where you... It just depends on your own situation, how many gems you have, candy, all that stuff, right? So, alright, in terms of lucky skills, I mean, you could do Crit Strike 2, right? The Psycho Cut, and if you're at 3 out of 5, the Sync always crits anyways. Well, assuming the opponent doesn't have like Crit Shield and all that stuff, Vigilance, blah blah blah. So that's nice. Otherwise, I mean, there isn't much otherwise. We just go for Crit Strike 2, man. It's not that complicated. Alright, at 1 out of 5, I'm pretty sure you can pick up everything if you have the ores, but if you don't, just pick up stuff like this, all the attack, speed nodes. If you're using Moonblast, then pick up Moonblast, but I don't think it's that good. So yeah, move gauge refresh on Psychic Terrain if you want. You might as well, not too much else out there. So at 2 out of 5, go for the NPR and Psychic Terrain. Most times gonna be nice, super duper effective. Is cool. Weird Vibes 1, if it's super effective, obviously. No point doing it if it's not. And Weird Recovery, I guess, just cause. And like Precognition 2. But otherwise, I mean, if you don't really need, you probably don't need this most of the time. You could drop that and pick up some more like power-ups and physical attack buffs. I don't think there are anymore, but maybe speed then. But yeah, that's 2 out of 5. I mean, don't bank on the NPR on the training move. Also, it's not that busy. It's just like a super effective up next. It's better just to attack for another turn than that. So like, yeah, that NPR on the training move really isn't nothing much. As for 3 out of 5, if you're syncing with Lele, you want to have Weird World, you want to have Crit Sync, you want to have Haymaker, right? So those are kind of like the main things you want to go for. How you get to that depends, right? You could go something like this, gets you both Sync Move Power-Up nodes, Precognition 2, right? Or I think you could also afford. Actually, can you? No. Yeah, this is the only way if you want to get just the maximum amount of stuff on your sync, right? But if you want it a bit more balanced, also if you do have someone who could buff Lele's crit, obviously you don't need the critical sync. I mean, it's still nice just because if it's EX, right? The Striker EX. I mean, hitting 3 units. It's just better if you have the guaranteed crit, right? Because even at max crit, it's not guaranteed. You're getting crit on everyone, right? It's 80% each, which is, I think, what, 50% chance to crit on everyone or something like that. But anyways, that aside, you could split it, get some DPS stuff. This weird might's pretty good too. The weird charge is really, really nice. So if you want to go for a more, again, more sort of balanced approach, right? Maybe if you just want some of that DPS power stuff as well, you can maybe go something like this, right? Obviously, you don't have the weird world over here, but you could pick and choose between certain things in this scenario. For example, if you want the weird world, it's kind of hard to say actually if you try saying it. You could maybe drop this stuff and instead you could probably pick up that extra sync move power up node or the critical sync. Or you could keep this, which I'd prefer. Honestly, I'd prefer keeping this stuff and just maybe not picking up the Furious Brain, perhaps, right? And you could use the rest on like super duper effective if you're fighting, or not super duper weird. Never mind, can't afford that. But yeah, super duper effective if you're fighting super effective, or if not, you could pick up something like this, sync with power up node as well, right? I mean, now think about it, you could probably pick this up anyways. So yeah, there's a lot of really, really good stuff in Lele's kit, right? It's just a lot of them do cost a bit, right? So you do have to sort of pick and choose what you want to sort of go with. Stuff like Weird Charge 9, right? You could totally not have this at all if you just have really, really good gauges on your team. So again, you could just drop that for some other stuff. Right, if you want that extra critical sync or an extra sync move power up. I can't click anything right now. Oh my god. Sync move power up node, whatever, with the weird vibes. Right, you could do that. Again, just a lot of options over here. Or you could forego the weird world and just try for the NPR on the psychic train as well. I think. Oh man, almost could have. Actually, no. Yeah, I still can't afford it. Aw, so close. It's so sad. Man, oh well. You could pick up other stuff. you could pick up other stuff, I guess. But yeah, well, you could get both if you want, and then this extra sync with power node. All right. Anyways, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. It's just really, do you want adrenaline, right? If you want adrenaline, then just go for it. If you're picking up adrenaline, it's mostly going to be for sync stuff as well, right? Probably mostly in like a full strength slash offensive like master mode sort of thing. Maybe pick up a weird world here as well. Or if you really think you don't need that, again, most likely for a really fast master mode run, then you probably could just pick this extra sync move power up node instead and go for something like this. I feel like that's probably better for, again, just a really fast master mode clear. As for this last one, brain power, obviously you want to pick up this brain power. It's a lot of damage. Haymaker plus brain power, right? That's you just got a lot over there. You could still pick up the sync move power up node. You would just have to like sacrifice something like critical sync, which is not that big of a deal if again you do have someone to max out the crit for Lele or whatever. But if you don't, then don't do that. Or you could even, you know, pick up something like Fierce Brain over here, Weird World, right? Again, critical sync does cost you a decent amount of energy, so it really just depends on do you have someone who could buff the crit and all that stuff, right? So yeah. Anyways, as for team comps, there's so many different things you could run with her, right? I feel like this could be something really standard. You have Neo Champion B over here, obviously, to take some hits, give the team even more, you know, physical special move up next, all that stuff. Both Deoxys and Lele could get some for themselves too, so that's going to be just a crazy amount of physical special move up next. And then Deoxys, everyone knows, you know, one of the top, you know, crazy damage deals in the game, all that stuff. Incredible unit. Just, yeah. And then with that extra 20% damage boost in Psychic Train, right? Like Bede, obviously we already know Champion Bede could do some really good damage himself as a support, but yeah, Lele's just buffing it even more there, right? And she's not even like a Galarian unit, so there's that, and well, buffs it for Deoxys too. And again, you could swap it like anyone. There's so many different really good psychic type units, right? You could throw in Luzamine, have that finally, you know, the Alolan Spirit passive. Doesn't help Lele that much just because Lele is mostly physical, but at least it helps Luzamine. So there's that at least. And obviously Leer as well. I don't know where he is, but there he is. Leer is gonna be really nice in that slot. You could do something like Annie May, right? And you could have, I mean, Annie May could take a few hits, honestly. So you could low-key also have Annie May. Also, the great thing about Annie May with Lele is kind of like the same thing with Tapu Bulu with Singsuit Lyra. Since, you know, they both get terrain on entry, so you don't even have to wait for them to set it themselves or wait an extra turn for it to set up, so they could straight up just get their free move next, like immediately, basically, on their Miss Ball and whatever Lyra's move was again. Grassy Glide, I think. So yeah, that's obviously really nice. And then you could also do something like Mewtwo and have Annie May buff Mewtwo's special attack over here. Again, like just fill in the blank, man. There's like a billion of these really nice psychic type units, damage dealers, blah blah. Obviously, you can still have Singsu Brendan over here, right? If you want someone that like actually tank, right? And obviously, you know, help with animes, multipliers, all this stuff. Yeah, it's just here to do very you know, do some good damage and support your team's damage as well, right? Just anyone that could benefit from Psychic Train, and there's a lot of them, is just gonna go crazy with Tapu Lele over here, basically. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a built-in master passive almost, 20% for like anyone in like Psychic Train. Yeah, so good unit, really easy to find team comps. You don't have to run her with Psychic type units though, but like it's a pretty good idea because like technically you could still have Psychic Terrain in there and have it buff for like other types too, but like why would you not do it? So as for the pros for this unit, it has some very good teams, and it just helps support them, make them do a lot more damage. Psychic Terrain, right? It has more than infinite Psychic Terrain because it already has like infinite Psychic Terrain on Sync, and then it has more Psychic Terrain on using Psychic Terrain as a move, and it has even more Psychic Terrain if you could get NPR on that, and then the Psychic Terrain all gets extended, and there's Psychic Terrain on entry. It's like, yeah, it's like infinite times 2, whatever that is, or times 3. I don't know, whatever. So yeah, it got the AoE no split damage. You know, that's really nice against AoE opponents. And low gauge. Well, writing it like that makes it seem like a con. Like, oh, it's like bad gauge. No. It's low gauge cost, right? Low gauge cost. B cycle cut only costs like 2 gauges. If you get like weird charge 9s, kind of like it only costs 1 gauges. So yeah. And then fully self-sufficient, right? Just easy attack, special attack +6, and you crit on any, all your stuff anyways, right? Like the crit is guaranteed on Sync. Well, it can be guaranteed on Sync. Pick up the node, all that stuff. So yeah, a lot of really good things about it. As for some cons, the single target DPS isn't anything crazy, right? It's actually like single target. Again, you get the AoE stuff, right? But single target's kind of whatever. I mean, it's got the same issue as Singsuit Ethan or Anniversary N, right? Basically, in that department, unless you get the physical special move up next, which she does get like a decent amount of those. Just because anytime again weather, terrain, zone activates, she gets 1 of each. And those could stack up relatively quickly, especially with Lele herself setting Psychic Terrain like 67 times a battle. So obviously that could help the damage, but otherwise, if you don't get that, the again single target DPS is just kind of it's kind of whatever, right? I guess like one more con is like the grid is kind of expensive, right? There's just a lot of really good stuff, and it costs some. So yeah. On the other hand, in terms of like the DPS wise, you don't have to worry too much, just because again you are buffing your teammates damage, and boy does Psychic type have some really good damage healers, so you don't have to worry too much about that, because your overall team's damage is going to be really high. So overall it's a really nice striker, which strikers are a bit of a rarity these days, I guess. We had like a bit of a resurgence around like the Kalos Wilnark era, but then kind of in no man's land again, strikers. But no, it's really nice. Again, it's kind of like I'd say it's really similar to just Psychic Singsuit Ethan, but also gives you infinite Psychic Terrain and gives you just buffs for your entire team, right? Offensively. So yeah. I mean, I feel like she's better than Singsuit Ethan though, right? I think individually Ethan does a bit more damage, but all the other extra sort of utility stuff, team supports, obviously Lele just has more of that. And on top of that, like, the one thing Singsuit Ethan is kind of awkward in is just like, Aerial Blast, Trainer Move, like, that does cut your DPS quite a bit, which is why the better way to use Ethan is not that, right? But that is the way where, like, Ethan sort of helps save the team's gauges. Tapu Lele can save your team's gauges without having to sacrifice DPS, right? Because like her gauge is just straight up it's 2 gauges, 1 extra back if you we're charging 9 as well, right? So yeah, she basically has all the upsides of Singsuit Ethan without any of the downsides. So yeah, yeah. Point being, very, 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 very good. I'd probably give like an 8.8 out of 10 for you know, pull rate. Like, she's just got so much going for her, right? Just a really, really, really good, fantastic, strong striker, and a very rare physical psychic striker, which you do not see very often at all, right? Do not see very often at all. And yeah, and you could totally run her with special, you know, psych strikers too. Like, you know, she's not, you know, it's not like her passive only buffs physical moves in psych trainer. No, her passive buffs like any physical special, doesn't matter, right? So yeah, that part doesn't really disrupt anything. And yeah, it's just one of the strongest types in the game. She's just incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful, and just the teams that she runs in, all that stuff, the units she helps is just, yeah. She's more of an overkill unit. So if you feel like, oh man, like, come on, right? This is, you know, like those teams are already like incredibly nuts. I don't know. Do we really need to make it that much better? But on the other hand, like Bulu's teams are also very, very disgusting already. But Bulu is a support, right? So like, you don't have to run Bulu with those units. You don't have to run Bulu with Singsuit Erica. You don't have to run Bulu with them. All that stuff. And again, you don't have to run Lele with those psychic units either, right? She could buff fire type units. She could buff bug type units. She could buff ice type units as long as you have psych drain up, right? But yeah, I don't know. I just value supports a bit more. But you know, if you do already have Bulu, I would recommend going for Lele, right? Again, psychic training just it's just very, very good. Very good, very, very, very good. And yeah. And like psychic type in general is just a really, really good type to invest into, because of the fact that like in the future there's going to be more stronger psychic type units, right, that could utilize and make use of Tapu Lele's kit, because of the fact that like psychic type is one of the most common types for legendary Pokemon, right? I think 1 and 2 are like psychic and dragon, I believe, something like that. So we'll keep on getting more, you know, strong psychic type units and such, right? You know, when they throw out like a, I don't know, like a shiny any of these psychic type Pokemon, shiny Mewtwo, whatever. I think there's still, you know, the Uxie, Mesprit, Azov. None of those are in a meaningful way in the game yet. I know Mesprit's the BP, but BP's kind of whatever. I mean, it's nice for 5-star BP, but you know, it's not anything crazy, right? And yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't like think of it of anything in terms of the ones that aren't in the game yet, right? But yeah, it's always a type that has a lot more potential as well. So, anyways, yeah, that's me with this one, I guess. I hope you all enjoyed. I guys think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the video from our channel for more Pokemon Massive content. Again, we'll be pulling for later tonight, so tune for that one. Good luck, guys, at pulling. And yeah, again, always no rush to pull these units, especially again with the update. Probably dropping before the banner goes away, right? You could always wait for that. So just you know, the usual reminder there before we go. But yeah, have fun. I'll see you guys in the next one.